Look, if you've got a 1 hour recording sitting on your drive and you keep telling yourself, there's a killer 30 seconds in here somewhere, I feel you. I used to open the timeline, scrub back and forth, and then somehow an hour disappears and I've got one clip maybe. The funny part? The hard work isn't even cutting. It's finding the moments people actually want to watch. Here's what I do now, and it's made the whole thing way less painful. I drop the full video into Vizard first. Not because I'm allergic to editing, I still use other tools when I need them, but because discovery is a real bottleneck. Vizard looks through the whole thing and throws me a list of moments that already feel like clips. Clean in and out, a natural hook, captions ready. I'm not hunting anymore, I'm just picking the winners. And no, this isn't some press one button and go viral thing. Think of it like having a super fast assistant who listens to your entire podcast or webinar and says, hey, here are the parts that make people lean in. Then I step in, tweak pacing, fix a word or two, and make it look like me. If you've used tools like Descript, you'll get the vibe. Descript is great when I want to polish the long version. Cut fillers, tighten a rant, that kind of thing. But when I'm trying to turn one recording into a bunch of shorts for TikTok, Reels, Shorts, maybe even LinkedIn, I don't want to spend my evening guessing where the hooks are. That's where Vizard earns its keep. It starts with what's likely to perform, not just what's easy to trim. The first pass is simple. I upload, grab a coffee, and by the time I'm back, I've got a handful of clips that already make sense on their own. I'll change the captions to my style. Bigger text, high contrast, a keyword or two highlighted, and I'll nudge the framing so faces don't drift off screen in vertical. If a line needs more punch, I'll tighten a tiny pause or add a subtle zoom on the payoff. Nothing crazy, just the kind of polish that keeps people watching. The nice surprise is how fast you can go when you stop rebuilding everything from scratch. I saved a caption look I like, so every clip starts on brand. If I'm posting to multiple platforms, I'll keep the core clip the same and just tweak the presentation. TikTok gets a spicier first line, LinkedIn gets the clearer one, same idea, different doorway in. Vizard makes the output part easy too, switching between 9.16, 1.1, or 16.9 without breaking your edit. No more exporting 5 versions and redoing captions each time. And about consistency, because that's honestly the whole game. A random viral clip is cool, but what grows your channel is showing up 3, 4, 5 times a week. I got tired of my Notion board, a Google Sheet, and 3 scheduling apps. It worked, technically, but I kept dropping the ball. Now I set the cadence inside Vizard, like post 5 times this week, and it lays out a plan across my socials. I can drag things around if I change my mind, but at least the train is moving. There's a calendar view where I can see what's queued, what's scheduled, what already went live. Zero guesswork, fewer tabs. To be fair, if you're doing heavy color work, a fancy transition sequence, or a complex multicam edit, Premiere, Final Cut, or Resolve are still the big guns. I'm not replacing those, different jobs. But for short form, most of the win comes from speed and clarity. Is the hook clear? Is the pacing tight? Can people read the captions on a small screen? Nail those, and you're 80% there. Let me give you a quick example. I had a 60-minute Zoom chat with the founder, good stories, some hard-won mistakes, a few spicy takes on pricing. I ran the whole thing through Vizard. It surfaced a couple dozen promising bits. I picked 12 that felt like a nice mix. Leadership, pricing, hiring, wish I knew this earlier. I slapped on my caption style, trimmed a bit of dead air, added a tiny zoom on the punchline of 2 clips, and then tweaked the opening text for each platform. 10 minutes later, everything was sitting in the calendar. I set it to post 5 times a week and moved on with my day. By the way, tools like Descript still have a place in this. If I know a long episode needs a real cleanup, I'll polish that there first. And if I need proper cinematic control, I'll go into Resolve. But when the goal is a steady output of shorts, the frankenstack workflow, transcribe in one app, caption in another, crop in a third, then schedule somewhere else just bleeds time. Vizard keeps the whole thing in one track. Find the moments, make them watchable, get them out the door. One more thing on quality. People forgive an average camera if the audio is clean and the idea lands. I use a decent mic, big captions, high contrast, and I keep the first sentence sharp. If the first frame is a shrug, you've lost the scrollers. Sometimes I'll throw a 5-word title on the first frame, something specific like the pricing mistake I made twice. It sets the expectation so the viewer knows why to care. If you're wondering where to start, grab the last long video you recorded. Podcast, webinar, talk, anything. Feed it into Vizard and just see what it pulls out. Don't overthink it. Pick the 5 clips you'd actually send to a friend, style them once, cue them up, and let the schedule do its thing. Next week, do it again. After a couple of rounds, you'll notice the AI's picks feel closer to your taste because you're training yourself on what performs and you'll have a rhythm you can actually keep. That's the shift that helped me. Stop trying to be a perfectionist in 12 different apps and start being consistent with one streamlined flow. Keep the storytelling and taste in your hands. Let the tool handle the grind. Okay, here's how I handle the more than one person problem without turning it into a project management circus. When a few of us are clipping from the same long recording, we keep it stupid simple. One place for the raw file, one place where AI throws us the candidates, and one place where finished clips live. Everything moves forward, nothing goes backwards. It sounds almost too basic, but it kills the wait. Which version is the real one? Headache. And every clip has exactly one owner. People can suggest changes, but one person calls it. Inside Vizard, that flows nicely. One person feeds the long video and picks the promising moments, another person makes them look like us, and someone with the best editorial gut gives the final yes and sets the schedule. If it's just you, do it in stages, not clip by clip. Discovery first, styling second, scheduling last. You'll feel your brain calm down because you're not switching gears every 2 minutes. Templates sound boring until you try working without them for a week. I keep a few caption looks saved. A big punchy one for fast scroll platforms, a cleaner one for talkie, informative bits, and a version where a couple of words pop when the moment is emotional. Same with layouts. I've got my vertical, square, and horizontal looks dialed so faces stay centered and text never gets chopped. And I don't do long intros anymore. 1 second to set the promise, that's it. Outro is just a nudge. Next up, the pricing mistake I made twice. Once those are saved, production stops being creative in the exhausting way and becomes creative in the right way. Your taste goes into picking moments and pacing, not rechoosing fonts for the 100th time. Let me walk you through a full run, end to end, like we're on a call and you're sharing your screen. You've got that 60-minute chat about pricing and your first hire. I drop the whole thing into Vizard and go grab water. When I'm back, it's already surfaced moments that feel like standalone clips. Clean in, clean out. A hook that makes sense. I scan for the ones that start strong. A concrete mistake, a clear claim, or a line that naturally makes people lean in. If a bit needs a paragraph of context to land, I skip it. We're not writing essays here. I keep 12 that feel like they can breathe in under a minute. Now I do a fast editorial pass. I'm listening for little sags. A long pause that kills momentum, a throat clear that doesn't add anything, a tangent that dilutes the punch. I trim just enough to keep the cadence tight without making it feel robotic. If the first sentence is soft, I'll nudge the opening a few seconds later, or add a tiny on-screen title that sets the promise in 5 words. The goal is simple. The viewer knows why to care in the first second and they're rewarded within 30. Styling comes next, and this is where the templates earn their keep. I apply my caption look, make sure the words are big enough to read on a bus with sunlight hitting the screen, and I'll emphasize 1 or 2 key terms so the eye has anchors as the line goes by. Framing wise, I lock the speaker so they don't drift, then I add a subtle zoom on the payoff line, not a YouTuber crash zoom, just enough to cue the beat. No novelty for novelty's sake. Every clip should feel like it comes from the same person. Publishing is where most people stall, so I make it idiot-proof. I decide the cadence first, say 5 posts a week for 2 weeks, then I drag the 12 clips onto the calendar. I keep the core video the same, but adjust the doorway a bit per platform. TikTok gets a spicier first line, YouTube Shorts gets cleaner phrasing, LinkedIn gets the here's what I learned, angle, same story, 3 intros. Once it's queued, I stop touching it. Tinkering after scheduling is how drafts die on the vine. Now results. I don't chase vanity metrics, I watch 3 things. 1, the first 3 seconds. Did people keep watching or bounce? 2, completion rate. Did they stick around for the payoff? And 3, saves or shares. Did the idea matter enough to pass along? After a week, patterns emerge. You'll notice certain openings win for you. Maybe a blunt, here's what I got wrong. Maybe a crisp number, maybe a spicy take. I steal from myself. The next batch, I open more clips with the winners. If a topic is consistently mid, I stop forcing it. If a certain guest or theme overperforms, I double down. You don't need a PhD dashboard, you need a weekly 20-minute review and 1 concrete tweak to test next. People ask about tools. Descript is great when you want to clean a long episode. Remove ums, lift a section, fix a flub, even overdub a word. Premiere, Final Cut, Resolve are still what I open if I'm doing real color work or building a sequence with multiple layers. But discovering short, sticky moments at scale, that's where Vizard pulls ahead. It starts with what will play as a clip instead of what's easy to trim, and it keeps the whole journey, discovery, styling, scheduling in one lane so you don't lose time context switching between 5 apps. If you're already deep in another stack, cool, keep it for the long form. Use Vizard for the shorts pipeline so you can ship more without lowering the bar. Let me leave you with a small, tangible challenge. Take the last long recording you have, a webinar, a podcast, a talk, feed it into Vizard tonight. Don't overthink it. Pick the 5 moments you'd actually send to a friend, give them your caption look, tighten 1 pause, add a tiny zoom on the payoff, and cue them across 2 platforms. Then walk away. Next week, do it again. After 2 or 3 cycles, you'll have a rhythm that feels sustainable and you'll start seeing what your hooks sound like. That's the whole game. Keep your taste and voice in the foreground and let the tool handle the grind in the background.